So the UFC is currently scrambling to find how to build international fight week. Apparently, DDP versus Hamza wasn't the headline for that event. There was no contract signed, but DDP did come out and make all his injury talk and said he'll be ready to fight in a few months. So let's move in to this match we have at heavyweight right now. We heard Hamza Chimaev versus Caio Barallo. Um, with 49 notes that he's in fight camp, so maybe he'll be the headliner. But the big fight we all want to see is, of course, John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall running through heavyweight. John Jones, we know the greatest of all time, but the heavyweight run, the heavyweight experiment with John Jones has been really lackluster. But let's read this article, and then I want to go through the heavyweight rankings and go through how we could fix heavyweight and what it could look like in the next few years. So, Tom Aspinall will fight Ciryl Gane, says UFC Insider. And who's that insider? JL Sutton, which we are going to talk about everything that JL was saying. Interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall will be fighting former interim title holder Ciryl Gane next. So, I believe Ciryl Gane and Jonathan Almeida are the only two fights apart from John Jones that Aspinall has had. And he's been supposed to fight Ciryl Gane on many occasions. But we're gonna get into Ciryl Gane's last fight. We're gonna get into the Volkow fight. UFC analyst and industry insider Chael Sonnen recently reported that a fight between heavyweight champion John Jones and interim title holder Tom Aspinall was signed, sealed, and delivered, but has backtracked those comments. I might have said that. I also did believe that to be true, he said on his YouTube channel. Now, how credible is Chael Sonnen? Most of the time he's credible, but a lot of the time he's not. And he's not a media member. Joe Sonnen is a former fighter. He's the biggest MMA YouTuber, I do believe. Hearing from a historical, reliable source, Sonnen believes Jones will watch as Aspinall will face former interim title holder Ciryl Gane in his next fight for the interim championship. He expects the match to take place during the International Fight Week. The current plan right now, Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Are you ready for the interim championship? Which again, that would mean Tom Aspinall would have defended the interim champion twice. The record for title defenses in the heavyweight division is three. I'm here to tell you, according to a remarkably good source, John Jones is going to be afforded the ability to wait 180 days, which is equal to 6 months, which is what he asked for. Tom Aspinall is going to fight Ciryl, which was in fact on the table many months ago, and then Ciryl was gifted a decision in a fight that he lost against Alexander Volkov. Again, why wouldn't they give it to Volkov? Giving it to Volkov or Almeida. I get it. Tom has already beaten Volkov, and he hasn't beaten Ciryl yet. But we're really gonna give Ciryl a title shot off of a robbery decision. That's the way the story happened, and now we're going to defend an interim champion with the existence of an undisputed champion. So, first of all, let's talk about international fight week. So, basically, what we know so far is Ilya Topuria has announced he's in camp. He hasn't fought this year. His last fight was Max Holloway. He will be debuting at lightweight. And there's also a lot of talks that his first fight will be for the undisputed belt. Now, is that Israel Malkin's vacating the belt? There's a lot of talks around that. But, like, the biggest fight is between Islam and Topuria and Tom Aspinall or John Jones. Like, Tom Aspinall will be one interim title defense away from Stipe's record. Like, how does that make sense? And I'm a big John Jones fan. I've been watching the sport ever since I was a kid. I watched most of John Jones's career in the UFC. John Jones is among the two most talented fighters I've ever seen compete inside the cage. And the thing with him fighting Tom Aspinall, and I've said this in every video I've stated, Tom Aspinall is every criticism that John Jones has had against him. Oh, John Jones only fights smaller fighters. John Jones only fights older fighters. When, yeah, that's true, but those were the guys that were the number one contender at the time. And, like, I really am confident that John Jones beats Tom Aspinall. Like, Tom Aspinall at heavyweight, or John Jones at heavyweight, the reason I wanted to see this for years, and I really wanted the King. You could talk about the Francis fight, whether he ducked it or not. The fight I always wanted to see was John Jones versus Cain Velasquez. And, you know, Cain had that fight with Verdum at Elevation, and it kind of wasn't the same after that one. But, like, I always wanted to see, you had the rivalry with DC right there. Um, and I guess that did overshadow any kind of potential fight with Kane. But, like, the other part about the heavyweight run is that if he had this run, and you have to factor in the torn pec, that it's a bad injury. Had he would have been active, had that Stipe fight uh over a year ago, well, nearly 2 years ago, and then he fought Tom Aspinall last year, and now we would be talking about, I don't know, Belgium Almeida, Volkov, whoever it may be. It will be a much different conversation around John Jones. That's if he won. Maybe Tom knocks him out. We'd be talking about Tom Aspinall as maybe the greatest fighter of all time. Like, it's tricky, man. It's really tricky because heavyweight, it is a important division. We have a lot of very unathletic guys in the top rankings. But again, like I said, we have a lot of good prospects coming in to the heavyweight division. I even pulled them up. Well, actually, no. Before we do it, I want to look at the records quick. Um, let's go here. Hopefully it loads. Come on. So you look at Tom Aspinall, right? 15-3. He's on a 3 fight win streak. Knocked out Tiber on the first round. Knocked out Pavlovich. I picked Pavlovich in this fight because at the time, Pavlovich was a scary opponent. He was knocking out everybody. He and looked like a machine. Knocked him out in the first round with the right hook. Um, then he had his rematch with Curtis Blades, where he finished Blades in the first round. Where you go before then? where he had that knee injury in the first round. Uh, Again, he got that back in his last bout. He knocked out Volkov, who Volkov beat Ciryl Gane in his last fight and should be the number two contender because of it. And we should be talking about that rematch. Sergey Spivak knocked out in the first round. Andrei Arlovsky, a legend, managed to take him into the sixth round, where he submitted Arlovsky with a rear naked choke. Knocked out this guy in the first round TKO, first round knockout, first round knockout. Then he um lost this fight against the Workers Paralympic because of a illegal 12-6 elbow. Um, but before that, KO got knocked out by Stuart Austin, and then three more first round knockouts. Tom Aspinall is one of the freakiest athletes we've ever seen, like John Jones. And Tom Aspinall probably could be on a two to three defense title reign if it wasn't for John Jones. And then, okay, let's do this in order. He's going to fight Ciryl Gane, right? This is the fight that's supposed to happen at International Fight Week. Alexander Volkov won this fight. I don't care. Volkov won that fight 2 rounds to 1. You could argue 3 rounds to 0. He did knock out Sergey Spivak. He got submitted by John Jones instantly in the first round. Knocked out Taito Basta. He had that fight with Francis Ngannou where he won the first 2 rounds. But again, Francis, the moment he started grappling, um, won every bit of the last 3 rounds. Derek Lewis, he TKO'd. He beat Volkov by unanimous decision the first time. Jairzinho Rosenstrike, TKO JDS, Tanner Bozer, third round submission, first round submission, first round TKO. You get it. Like, Ciryl had a really good career up until the third round of the Francis fight. Let's be honest. But again, Volkov won that fight. Dana White told Volkov he got fucked. And then I haven't seen a single person say, "Well, you know what, Ciryl actually won their second fight against Volkov." So we should be talking about, I guess, Volkov versus Aspinall too. But then I want to go over to Gelton Almeida, a guy who Tom hasn't faced yet on a really good run. So, TKO Sergey Spivak in his last fight. Uh, Submitted Alexander Romanov. Was supposed to fight Alexander Volkov instead of Romanov. And then I guess that if you would have fought Volkov, maybe we would be talking about this fight. He obviously got TKO'd against Curtis Blades, who, again, I know it's an injury. Tom Aspinall lost to Curtis Blades too, so you kind of have that common opponent there. Derek Lewis, CB by unanimous decision, submitted Jairzinho Rosenstrike, uh, TKO Chamil Abdurakhmanov, submitted Anton Takaji, Parker Porter, um, lost the grappling match. But again, Jolton Almeida is really good, and he's a high level grappler at heavyweight. Something you don't commonly see, especially now with how many big really brawlers there are. And then obviously, going through all of these records, I'm not gonna go through his whole career, just the heavyweight one. He took 3 years to come up to heavyweight, beat Ciryl, submitted him in the first round, was supposed to fight Stipe in 2023. And I think if that Stipe fight would have happened, in 2023, we probably would have had the Tom fight, or he would have retired. Um, and maybe we would have one or two more title defenses from John Jones. But again, man, I get it. Pereira would have been the bigger fighter, bigger payday. But man, you could have had this Tom fight done by now. And now he won 6 months, which perfectly aligns with Madison Square Garden. Boy, he could have a win over Tom. He could beat Jolton Almeida, beat Alexander Volkov, and those wins would, you know, fucking, oh, wow. Those wins would drown out criticism against John Jones's career. He only fights older competitors. He only fights guys that he has a reach over. Heavyweights where is supposed to address all his, flaws and prove he doesn't have them. But at the same time, he's already proved everything in the sport. Nobody will ever have a career like John Jones. You can say what you want about the Dominic Reyes fight, about the first Gustafsson fight. A win is a win, man. Some are dominant, some are ugly. But man, we gotta get the heavyweight division going. Because like I mentioned and nearly forgot, we've got a lot of fun contenders coming up. And now if John Jones is only going to have one or two more fights, you gotta look at the landscape, right? Tom Aspinall probably becomes champion. Ciryl Gane, we'll have to see if you can stick around when one of the grapplers come in. Stipe retired. Pavlovich, he got a very boring win over Rosenstrick in his last fight. Still being weird. Jolton Almeida, who we're talking about again on a true fight win streak after being TKO'd by Blades. He got Blades, who got TKO'd by Tom Aspinall in his last fight, and is fighting Rizvan Kanev. You got Volkov, Spivak, Bam Bam. Well, like, you know, it's below top 15 where we need to talk about Shamil Gaziev. Again, another guy coming up. Augusto Saki, I don't really have much confidence in him. Um, Martin Buday is on the come up. Waldo Cortez Acosta is on a 4 fight win streak. TKO'd Ryan Spaniard's last fight. Um, and we're only gonna get better and better heavyweights coming in. And I believe that Tom Aspinall will be the face of the new generation of heavyweight. So if John Jones can go out there and beat Tom Aspinall, retire if he wants, uh, that will be the perfect end of his career. Like I said, that he would get rid of all the criticisms against him. But again, man, it's just working more and more like this run at heavyweight was a bit of a waste here. Yeah, injury or not. So I say we're going to get Ciryl and Tom at International Fight Week. We're going to have an interim champion with two defenses, maybe even ties the record for most heavyweight defenses with an interim belt. We need to see John Jones. We need to see heavyweight get going. Well, let me know. What do you think about Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall? I didn't really talk much about the fight because you already know Tom Aspinall will probably run some. If he doesn't knock him out in the first time, he'll submit him instantly. But I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it more if it officially gets announced. Well, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about what's going on in heavyweight? What would you do if you were a matchmaker? And What do you think about Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall fight at International Fight Week? I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. Later.